Can you ever forgive the one you love most when they betray you? What happens when a cruel slap shatters every ounce of trust? In a dazzling mansion by the shores of Miami, Elena Harper, a pregnant wife, faces a nightmare as her husband Nathan entangles himself with the arrogant Cassandra Blake. Cassandra's slap doesn't just jolt Elena. It ignites a firestorm of rage in Sophia Harper, Elena's billionaire sister, a woman of formidable power. Can the bond of sisterhood break through the darkness? This is a tale of betrayal, justice, and the radiant light of hope. Miami's radiant sunlight pours through massive glass windows, casting a golden sheen over the Harper Mansion's living room. Abstract paintings glimmer on the walls, as if trying to mask the chill creeping into the air. Elena Harper stands there in the vast room, one hand gently resting on her 5th-month pregnant belly. She feels each tiny kick from her unborn child, like whispers of hope. But the smile on her lips is fragile, brittle. The joy of motherhood, which should overflow, is now overshadowed by an unseen darkness. Her heart is restless. It pounds erratically, as if sensing a storm looming on the horizon. Nathan, the husband she once trusted implicitly, has changed. He's no longer the Nathan of their early days, the one who held her hand under Miami's sunset glow and vowed to love her forever. Lately, he's grown distant, a stranger sharing her home. Late-night phone calls, when Elena pretends to sleep, echo from his study. Nathan's hushed, urgent whispers fall silent when she enters. Messages he hurriedly deletes from his phone leave only his evasive glances when she questions him. Each time, Elena feels a small crack in her heart, like glass tapped lightly, not yet shattered, but riddled with fractures. She tries to dismiss it. "It's just work," she tells herself, repeating it like a mantra. Nathan is a businessman. Pressure is inevitable. He promised to make time for her, for their unborn child. Those promises, once sweet as the sunlight caressing her shoulders, now feel icy. Elena moves slowly to the sofa, her trembling hands cradling her belly. She gazes at the deep blue ocean through the window, waves lapping gently as if to comfort her. But within her, turbulent waves surge. Is she imagining things? Or is Nathan truly hiding something from her? Each night, as moonlight slips through the curtains, Elena lies awake, eyes wide, listening to Nathan's breathing beside her. She longs to trust him, to reach for his hand as she once did, to feel safety return. But his hand now seems distant, belonging to a world she cannot touch. The moments of his laughter, his embraces, are now faded memories. In their place are his eyes, flickering with panic when his phone buzzes, or the way he hastily leaves the room when she asks about sudden trips. Elena wonders, is she weaving her own fears? Or is her heart, like a sensitive compass, detecting a truth her mind refuses to accept? She steps to the large mirror in the living room, staring at her reflection. Her eyes, once sparkling with joy, are now veiled in melancholy. Her face, still beautiful, bears the marks of sleepless nights. Elena touches her cheek, as if seeking the woman she was in happier days. She recalls Nathan kissing her forehead, calling her his light. Now, that light is dimming, obscured by doubt. She tells herself to be strong, for the child growing within her. But each kick from her baby is a reminder. She lives not just for herself, but for a tiny life depending on her for safety. Elena turns, her gaze sweeping the room. Everything in the mansion is flawless. Gleaming marble floors, priceless paintings, luxurious leather sofas. Yet this opulence cannot hide the emptiness she feels. She walks to the window, her hand clutching the curtain's edge, as if grasping for something certain. Beyond, the ocean remains serene, but within Elena, a storm is brewing. She doesn't know that, in just a few hours, that storm will crash upon her, bringing a fateful slap that will shatter the world she once believed in. That morning, Elena stood in the dining room, her trembling hands carefully arranging white daisies in a crystal vase. Each flower was an attempt to soothe her troubled heart, to conceal the doubts about Nathan that had gnawed at her through long, restless nights. She tried to focus on the sweet fragrance of the blooms, on the cool touch of petals beneath her fingers, as if clinging to a fleeting sense of peace. But deep within, fear smoldered, like a small flame waiting for a gust to roar into a blaze. She had no idea that, at that very moment, that gust was striding into the Harper mansion. A sharp clack of high heels echoed, slicing through Elena's thoughts. She looked up, and her heart seemed to stop. A strange woman, tall and slender, stood there, commanding the space with haughty confidence. Cassandra Blake, clad in a tight red dress as vivid as fresh blood, her lips painted sharp with crimson, wore a cold, mocking smile. Her gaze swept over Elena, from her slightly disheveled hair to her rounded fifth-month belly, brimming with contempt, as if Elena were an insignificant obstacle. Elena's heart pounded, not from fear, but from a gut-wrenching premonition that her suspicions were about to become reality. Cassandra offered no greeting, no pretense. Her voice, smooth yet icy, cut through the air like a blade. She declared herself Nathan's lover, the one he had promised to leave Elena for, to start a new life with her. Each word was a sword, piercing the fragile armor Elena had built to shield her heart. She stood frozen, her hands clutching her belly, as if to protect her unborn child from the storm of emotions raging within. Nathan had betrayed her. The late-night calls, the hastily deleted messages, the evasive glances, all crystallized now, like pieces of a cruel puzzle. She wanted to scream, to deny it, but her throat tightened, only trembling breaths escaping. Elena's mind churned in chaos. She recalled nights when Nathan held her hand, promising to be her safe harbor, for her and their child. Those promises now dissolved into mist, leaving her stranded in a tempest. Cassandra, as if sensing Elena's vulnerability, stepped closer, her eyes sparking with malice. Her smile twisted, seething with hatred. Then, without warning, her hand lashed out, striking Elena's cheek with a fierce slap. The sound reverberated, sharp and piercing, as if tearing the silent room apart. Pain spread, not just across her skin, but deeper. That slap was humiliation, the collapse of every hope Elena had clung to. Tears welled up, hot and stinging, streaming down her face. She touched the red mark, as if to confirm this agony was real. Elena stood there, her legs trembling, like a sapling in a ferocious wind. She looked at Cassandra, searching for a flicker of remorse in her eyes, but found only triumph. Her heart shattered, not just from Nathan's betrayal, but from the cruelty of this woman who dared to invade her world, the home she had built with love and trust. She wanted to scream, to shove Cassandra out of her life, but her body felt frozen, only silent tears falling. Then Nathan appeared. He emerged from his study, his face pale, his eyes hollow. He stood a few steps away, yet the distance felt vast, like an ocean. He said nothing, didn't move to hold her, didn't confront Cassandra. His silence was another blade, deeper, sharper. Elena looked at him, desperate for an explanation, a spark of hope, but saw only cowardice. Her heart, already cracked from nights of doubt, now broke into fragments. She clutched her belly tighter, as if telling her child that, even if this world crumbled, she would protect them. In that moment, Elena was no longer the trusting wife, no longer the dreamer of a happy family. She was a mother, a warrior, trembling in pain yet resolute. Cassandra's slap didn't just wound her, it awakened a latent strength. She didn't know that, from these ashes, a battle would begin, with her sister Sophia by her side, ready to transform rage into justice. Miles above the earth, in the cabin of her private jet, Sophia Harper sits, her hands gripping the leather seat, her gaze as sharp and cold as an icy blade. Elena's call still echoes in her mind, her sister's trembling, choked voice recounting the cruel slap from Cassandra and Nathan's betrayal. Each word from Elena slices deep into Sophia's heart, like a vicious cut, stirring memories of days when she held her sister's hand, vowing to shield her from all pain. Rage blazes within her, not a chaotic wildfire, but a frigid, razor-sharp furnace, ready to incinerate anyone who dares harm Elena. Sophia is not one to be swayed by emotions. In New York, in her towering office overlooking the Hudson River, she is the tech billionaire who makes the world hold its breath. Billion-dollar deals, tense negotiations. She navigates them all with a chilling calm. But Elena is her vulnerability, the sole piece of her heart that makes Sophia willing to cast aside all logic and charge into battle. When Elena's voice broke over the phone, recounting the slap, Nathan's silent gaze, Sophia felt an invisible wound tear open in her chest. She canceled her San Francisco business trip instantly, without hesitation. No explanation was needed. Elena needed her, and that was enough. On the flight to Miami, Sophia's mind churns. She recalls Elena's eyes as a child, innocent and brimming with trust, gazing at her like an invincible hero. Sophia swore no one would ever hurt her sister. But now, Elena, carrying a tiny life within her, has been betrayed by the man she loved most. Cassandra's slap was more than a physical act. It was an insult, a dagger plunged into Elena's fragile trust, into the family dream she cherished. Sophia clenches her fists, nails digging into her palms. She blames herself. She should have been closer to Elena, should have seen Nathan's unworthiness. As the jet lands, Sophia steps off, her hair tightly bound, her black suit hugging her frame, exuding an unstoppable force. She conceals her emotions, but inside, a storm rages. She drives straight to the Harper mansion, each turn of the wheel like a countdown to confrontation. When she enters, the sight of Elena, curled up on the sofa, strikes her like a blow. Her sister, once radiant as Miami's sunlight, now shrinks into herself, her cheeks still flushed from the slap, her eyes clouded with tears. Sophia's heart aches, as if squeezed in a vice. She kneels, gently touching Elena's hand, feeling her sister's trembling. Words are unnecessary. Their eyes meet, and Sophia knows. Elena is breaking, but she won't let her sister crumble alone. Sophia rises, her gaze shifting to Nathan. He stands in the corner, face ashen, hands clasped as if hiding his guilt. His silence during Cassandra's slap, his cowardice in failing to protect his wife, makes Sophia's blood boil. She steps closer, each footfall heavy with restrained fury. She doesn't slap him, though her hand itches to. Instead, her voice, cold as ice, rings out, each word a razor-sharp blade. She warns that if Elena or the baby face any danger, Nathan will pay with his entire life. Her eyes lock onto his, offering no escape. Nathan bows his head, but Sophia doesn't care. His apologies, if any, are meaningless now. In Sophia's heart, a vow is etched deep. She will protect Elena, not just from Cassandra, but from anyone who threatens her sister's happiness. She remembers nights when Elena wept over past heartaches, how Sophia wiped her tears, promising to always be there. Now, that promise becomes a guiding star. She is more than Elena's sister. She is an impregnable fortress, ready to face the world to deliver justice. As she turns back to Elena, her gaze softens, but her resolve holds firm. She will do anything, move mountains, part seas, to restore her sister's light. Sophia Harper refuses to falter. After seeing Elena curled up, her cheek still bearing the red mark of Cassandra's cruel slap. The fire within her burns fiercer than ever. Cassandra Blake, the woman who dared to invade her sister's world, cannot be tolerated. The vow to protect Elena, etched deep in Sophia's heart from the moment she confronted Nathan, now serves as her guiding star. She cannot allow Cassandra to linger smugly in the Harper mansion, cannot let her arrogance trample on Elena's pain for even one more second. Her resolve, sharp as a honed blade, propels her forward. Each step echoes like a drum beat urging her to act. She finds Cassandra in the secondary living room, lounging on a leather chair, sipping a glass of red wine, her painted lips curved in smug satisfaction. The sight sets Sophia's blood ablaze. Cassandra is not just a destroyer. She is a predator, confident she holds all the power. But Sophia is not one to be subdued. She stands tall, her black suit clinging like armor, her icy gaze locked on Cassandra. Within her, anger simmers, not loud and chaotic, but silent, like an underground river ready to sweep away everything in its path. She thinks of Elena, of her silent tears, of the innocent child in her womb. Cassandra dared to raise a hand against them, and Sophia will make her pay. Sophia's voice rings out, cold and unyielding, each word like a stone hurled into a still lake. She orders Cassandra to leave the mansion immediately, with no mercy. She mentions the slap, the assault on Elena, and threatens legal action with the certainty of someone accustomed to standing at the pinnacle of power. In that moment, Sophia is more than Elena's sister. She is a warrior, ready to wield every weapon, from the law to her influence, to protect the one she loves. But Cassandra, instead of cowering, lets out a scornful laugh. The sound, sharp and mocking, claws at Sophia's heart like a blade. Cassandra boasts, her voice dripping with arrogance, about secret trips with Nathan to Los Angeles and Las Vegas, about evidence she holds, enough to ruin the Harper family's reputation. Cassandra's words pour fuel on the fire raging in Sophia. A piercing pain stabs her, not for herself, but for Elena, who placed her full trust in Nathan only to be betrayed. Yet Sophia refuses to let emotion overtake her. She stands motionless, her eyes never leaving Cassandra. She knows these boasts are the weapons of the weak, a desperate bid to maintain control. In her heart, Sophia reminds herself, Cassandra is no match. She is merely a fleeting shadow, and Sophia will dispel it. With a subtle snap of her fingers, she summons the security team, tall men in black suits appearing swiftly, like phantoms. Their presence makes Cassandra's smile falter, if only for a fleeting moment. Sophia issues her command, her voice low but heavy enough to thicken the air in the room. She demands Cassandra leave, taking nothing but her humiliation. The security team advances, their gazes stern, ready to enforce the order. Cassandra rises, her wineglass trembling slightly in her hand, yet she clings to her air of arrogance. She strides out, her heels striking the stone floor sharply, her eyes flashing with fury as she glances back at Sophia. Her threat, promising to make the Harper family regret this, resounds like the roar of a cornered beast. But Sophia merely offers a cold smile, unwavering, like a frozen lake under moonlight. She knows Cassandra is not one to give up easily, but she also knows she will never back down. As the mansion's gate closes behind Cassandra, Sophia stands still, her fist clenched. She thinks of Elena, of the red mark on her sister's cheek, of the shattered fragments of trust left by Cassandra and Nathan. This battle, she understands, has only just begun. Cassandra will return, with venomous schemes, but Sophia is prepared. She fights not only for Elena, but for the vow carved in her heart. No one may harm her sister without paying a price. She breathes deeply, feeling the fire within burn brighter, guiding her toward the war ahead. Sophia Harper stands motionless, her heart pounding fiercely in her chest, each beat a stark reminder of the battle yet to be won. The image of Cassandra Blake being expelled from the Harper mansion, her eyes blazing with venomous hatred, still haunts her. She had believed that such humiliation would make Cassandra hesitate, but deep down, Sophia knows a woman like Cassandra doesn't surrender easily. Her threat, echoing as she passed through the gate, now hangs like a sharpened dagger over the Harper family. Sophia clenches her fists, her nails digging into her palms, feeling the smoldering anger within. She vowed to protect Elena, and she will not let Cassandra destroy her sister again. Just days later, Cassandra strikes back. An online interview surfaces on a tabloid site, exploding like a bomb in the public eye. In it, Cassandra paints Elena as a selfish, manipulative wife who neglected Nathan, driving him into her arms. Each word is a poisoned arrow, twisting the truth, transforming Elena from victim to villain. Worse still, Cassandra threatens to release an intimate video of her and Nathan, a direct blow to the Harper family's honor. She demands Sophia withdraw the assault charges against her for attacking Elena, or the video will spread, unleashing a storm of scandal. Sophia reads each line on her laptop screen, a sensation as if someone is crushing her heart. Her anger isn't for the provocation, but for Elena, who has endured enough pain, now slandered before the world. Sophia's inner world churns with turmoil. She thinks of Elena, of her tear-filled eyes as she recounted the slap, of her trembling hand clutching her pregnant belly. Cassandra didn't just assault her sister physically. She seeks to annihilate her spirit, to turn private pain into public spectacle. Sophia feels an invisible wound, not for the family's reputation, but for the helplessness of watching Elena hurt again. She questions, how can someone be so cruel? Cassandra is not merely a predator. She is a nightmare, wielding words as weapons to sow chaos. But Sophia is not one to be broken. Her anger transforms into resolve, sharp as a finely honed blade, ready to sever Cassandra's schemes. The public erupts in frenzy. Sensational headlines flood social media, from Harper family love scandal to manipulative wife or innocent victim. Each article feels like another stab, making Sophia sense the world turning against Elena. She cannot let Cassandra control the narrative, cannot allow these lies to shape the story. She rises, smoothing her black suit, her hair tightly bound as a symbol of control. She decides to confront the challenge head-on. A press conference is arranged at Miami's most luxurious hotel, where the flash of cameras will illuminate the truth. Sophia doesn't want merely to defend. She wants to expose Cassandra, to reveal to the world the true face of the woman who wounded her sister. Before dozens of cameras, Sophia steps onto the podium, her gaze unwavering, her voice resolute yet poised with calm. She declares Cassandra the aggressor who attacked Elena, an innocent pregnant woman, and insists the slanders are mere attempts to conceal wrongdoing. Each word she utters is like a stone hurled at Cassandra's wall of lies, firm and unrelenting. She avoids mentioning the video, showing no trace of weakness. But inside, her heart races, not from fear, but from the weight of her duty to shield Elena. The crowd falls silent, captivated by the power in her words, yet Sophia knows it's not enough. Cassandra is not one to be vanquished easily. As she steps away from the podium, Sophia feels the reporters' gazes, unanswered questions lingering in the air. She knows Cassandra won't stop. The interview, the video threat, are only the opening moves in her plan. Within Sophia, a flicker of worry creeps in, not for herself, but for Elena, who could suffer more if the scandal escalates. She quickly quells it. She recalls her vow in the jet's cabin, Elena's trusting eyes when she promised to protect her. Sophia breathes deeply, her hand lightly touching the silver bracelet on her wrist, a gift from Elena years ago. She will not let Cassandra prevail. This battle, she understands, is entering a fiercer phase, and she is ready to face whatever storms lie ahead. Sophia Harper refuses to let Cassandra Blake's threats shake her resolve. The deceitful interview, the vicious slanders aimed at Elena, and the looming danger of the intimate video Cassandra holds only fuel the fire raging within her. She stood before the flashing cameras in Miami, delivering a resolute defense of her sister. But Sophia knows words alone are not enough. Cassandra is not one to be easily subdued, and to protect Elena, she must dig deeper, must unmask the true face of the woman who dared to wound her sister. Her determination, like a blade sharpened to a deadly edge, guides her into a new, more perilous battle. Sophia doesn't hesitate. She contacts the finest private investigators she has ever worked with, those who once helped her expose schemes in the cutthroat world of business. She tasks them with uncovering every detail of Cassandra's past, from her relationships to her shadowy dealings. Deep within, Sophia feels a flicker of unease, not from fear of failure, but from a gut instinct that Cassandra conceals something far darker than what she has already glimpsed. She thinks of Elena, of her tear-filled eyes as she recounted the slap, of the innocent child growing in her sister's womb. Every moment of delay is a threat, and Sophia cannot allow Cassandra to wreak havoc any longer. The investigation's findings arrive swiftly, but they weigh heavy on Sophia's heart. Cassandra is not merely an arrogant mistress or a petty extortionist. She has preyed on wealthy businessmen in Boston and Seattle, weaving scandalous tales to extract money, leaving shattered lives in her wake. Each name in the report, each ruined story, carves a deep wound in Sophia's soul, like a knife's relentless cut. She feels a cold, seething anger, but it's laced with fear. Cassandra's danger lies not only in her cruelty, but in her cunning. She knows how to manipulate, how to turn victims into culprits. Sophia clenches her fists, nails biting into her flesh, wondering, could Elena be the next victim in this twisted game? But what truly chills Sophia to her core is a call from Detective Daniel Martinez of the Miami Police. His voice, low and cautious, unveils a secret that nearly stops her breath. Cassandra may be linked to a high-end drug trafficking ring, supplying illicit substances to the elite. Some of her clients, wealthy and powerful, died from overdoses under mysterious circumstances, their deaths cloaked as accidents. Each word from Martinez lands like a stone in Sophia's mind, stirring a tempest of emotions. She feels horror, not just at Cassandra's danger, but at the thought that Elena, innocent and fragile, has been unwittingly drawn into this web of crime. That cruel slap now seems merely the surface of a deeper abyss. Sophia sits in silence, her hands trembling slightly as she sets the phone down. She recalls nights when she and Elena shared dreams, how she promised to always protect her sister. Cassandra is not just a marriage wrecker. She is a venomous serpent, lurking in the shadows, poised to strike anyone in her path. Fear creeps in, but Sophia swiftly quells it. She cannot let emotions rule her. She breathes deeply, her gaze as sharp as a blade, deciding to share all the information with the police. She knows this will escalate the battle to a new, more dangerous level, but she has no choice. To safeguard Elena, she must drag Cassandra into the light, must sever every escape route. In Sophia's heart, a new vow takes root. She will not only stop Cassandra from hurting Elena, but will dismantle her entire criminal network. She gently strokes the silver bracelet on her wrist, a gift from Elena, as if drawing strength from her sister's love. She thinks of the slap, the slanders, and now this horrifying criminal secret. Cassandra chose the wrong adversary. Sophia rises, her posture unyielding, like a warrior ready for battle. She knows this fight will not be easy, but she is prepared, with the fire in her heart burning brightly, guiding her toward the fateful confrontation ahead. Sophia Harper refuses to waver, though her heart is heavy with the horrifying revelations about Cassandra Blake. Her criminal web, spanning extortion to drug trafficking, slices through Sophia like a razor-sharp blade, not only threatening Elena but carving a silent fear into her mind. If she doesn't act, her sister will forever dwell in darkness. She has shared the information with Detective Daniel Martinez, resolved to drag Cassandra into the light. But she knows the law alone isn't enough. Cassandra is a venomous serpent, lurking in the shadows, her fangs poised to strike anyone who stands in her way. To protect Elena, Sophia must coax her into the open, must force her to reveal her true face. Within her, a fire of determination burns fiercely, yet it's laced with a gnawing worry. Can she end this nightmare without wounding Elena further? Sophia collaborates with Martinez to devise a perfect trap, a bold yet risky plan. They decide to use Nathan, the man who betrayed Elena, as bait. He will feign agreement to pay Cassandra to destroy the evidence, luring her into a snare with no escape. Thinking of Nathan, who stood silent as Cassandra slapped Elena, Sophia feels a smoldering anger flare, like a volcano suppressed beneath the surface. She despises his weakness, but she needs him, not out of trust, but because he is the key to toppling Cassandra. In clandestine meetings, Sophia sits, her gaze as sharp as a blade, her hands clenched until they pale, as if preparing for a life-or-death chess game. She thinks of Elena, of her cheek flushed red from the slap, of her tear-filled eyes recounting the pain. Sophia tells herself, this is the only way to keep her sister safe. The meeting is set at an isolated Airbnb in Key West, where the night stillness conceals dark schemes. Nathan steps inside, a hidden microphone taped beneath his collar, his heart pounding as if it might burst. He trembles, not just from fear of Cassandra, but from the crushing weight of guilt burdening his soul. The image of Elena, tears streaming down her face after the slap, haunts him every night, like a curse he cannot shake. He knows he doesn't deserve forgiveness, but if this plan succeeds, he might redeem a sliver of his wrongs, however faint the hope. When Cassandra appears, her crimson-painted lips curling in arrogant triumph, Nathan's stomach twists in knots. She is the embodiment of his mistakes, the nightmare he let invade Elena's life, shattering the family dream he once swore to protect. Cassandra wastes no time. Her voice is cold as ice, each word a piercing dagger. She demands $6 million, flaunting a gleaming USB in her hand, containing a video potent enough to destroy Nathan and the Harper family. She even hints at her drug trafficking network, as if daring the world to touch her. Each word stabs deep into Nathan's heart, reminding him of the weakness that led him here, of the nights he secretly met Cassandra, leaving Elena in solitude. He struggles to keep his voice steady, his hands trembling slightly as he responds, but inside, he wants to scream, to erase the past. He thinks of Elena, of their unborn child, and vows to be strong if only this once, to prove he's not entirely a failure. Sophia, concealed outside with Martinez, listens through the device, her heart racing. Each word from Cassandra sets her blood boiling, as if the woman is trampling Elena's pain right before her eyes. But she restrains herself, her gaze locked on the surveillance screen, her hands clenched until they ache. When Cassandra admits to her extortion, boasting of her power, Sophia feels a spark of hope ignite, like the first light after a storm. This is the moment she's been waiting for, the moment Cassandra ties the noose around her own neck. Martinez signals, and the police burst in, swift as darkness swallowing light. Cassandra freezes, the USB slipping from her hand, clattering on the wooden floor, her eyes wild as she's handcuffed. She screams, her curses echoing, but Sophia stands unmoved, her gaze as cold as a frozen lake. The USB is seized, and Cassandra is dragged away, her fury powerless against the might of justice. As the door slams shut, Sophia exhales, a flicker of satisfaction stirring in her chest. She has won, at least in this battle. Cassandra, the venomous serpent who threatened Elena, is now caged behind bars, no longer able to harm her sister. But as she turns to Nathan, his face pale, his hands trembling like dry leaves in the wind, Sophia knows this victory is incomplete. She thinks of Elena, of the emotional scars left by Cassandra and Nathan. The slap, the slanders, and Cassandra's criminal network may be buried, but Elena's pain endures, like a deep scar that refuses to fade. Sophia gently touches the silver bracelet on her wrist, a gift from Elena, feeling a fragile warmth. She resolves, She will keep fighting, not just to punish her enemies, but to restore light to her sister's life, though the road ahead remains long and arduous. Elena Harper lies there, her heart heavy as if bearing an ocean of pain. Though her body has slowly begun to heal after days of stress that drove her to the edge, her soul still bleeds. The cruel slap from Cassandra Blake, the venomous slanders, and Nathan's betrayal pierce her like sharp daggers, lodged deep in every hidden corner of her being. Yet, the image of Cassandra in handcuffs, her face twisted in rage as she was dragged away, flickers like a small flame Sophia kindled in Elena's darkness. It doesn't erase the wounds, but it's enough to make her believe that light still exists, somewhere, waiting for her to reach out. She left the Harper mansion, where painful memories lurk like phantoms, for the serene sanctuary of a Napa Valley retreat, where she embarks on a journey to mend her shattered heart, breath by breath, moment by moment, like a lost wanderer seeking the path home. Sophia, her sister, remains a lighthouse piercing the storm's chaos, never straying far. She brings fragrant meals, inspiring books, and heartfelt talks with a renowned therapist. Each time Sophia clasps her hand, her warm fingers gripping tightly, Elena feels the strength of sisterly love, the force that pulled her from the abyss when Cassandra fell. But the pain clings to her, an invisible scar that stings each time she recalls Nathan's silent gaze as the slap echoed. She cradles her belly, sensing the gentle kicks of her unborn child, and wonders, can she forgive? Can she rebuild a family from these ashes? She longs to be strong, for her child, for herself, but her heart trembles, torn between deep hurt and a fragile spark of hope. The birth of Lily Hope Harper is a miracle, like sunlight tearing through dark clouds. As Elena holds her daughter in her arms, the baby's delicate cries ring out, pure and clear, as if dispelling the gloomy mist enveloping her soul. She gazes into Lily's pristine, star-like eyes, feeling a warm glow of light flood her chest. The joy of motherhood, pure and fierce, brings tears to her eyes. But these are tears of hope. Yet, even this sacred moment cannot fully erase the wounds. The slap, the betrayal, and Cassandra's lies remain like a thorn embedded deep in her heart, aching each time she thinks of Nathan. Nathan, once her entire world, is now a faded shadow, shrouded in guilt. He sends letters daily, his handwritten words trembling with remorse and undying love. Elena reads them, sometimes through silent tears, sometimes in icy silence. Each word is a hammer, chipping at the wall she built to shield herself, yet filling her with fear. She wants to trust him, to recall the blissful days when he held her hand under Miami's sunset, vowing to stay by her side forever. But the pain of betrayal is vast, like a raging wave, pulling her into a whirlpool of doubt. She strokes Lily's hair, whispering a lullaby, and asks herself if she has the strength to give Nathan a chance, for Lily, for the family dream she once cherished. Through couples therapy, Elena and Nathan begin to face the fractures in their marriage. Nathan sits there, his face haggard, his hands clasped tightly as if restraining anger at himself. He looks at her, his eyes brimming with regret, trying to rediscover the man who once made Elena smile. Elena gazes back, searching for the Nathan of old, but sees only a weary man, torn by guilt. Their sessions are filled with tears, with painful silences, but they mark the first steps toward rebuilding trust. Elena isn't certain she can forgive completely, but for Lily, she's willing to try. She takes Nathan's hand, gently, like a fragile promise that they might, even just a little, reclaim the light they lost. Each touch of their hands feels both warm and frightening, like standing before a broken bridge, unsure if it's strong enough to carry her across. Sophia, beyond being a steadfast pillar, transforms pain into purpose. She founds a charitable foundation for abused women, for pregnant mothers facing hardship. Every decision she makes, every meeting she holds, is a way to turn Elena's suffering into a catalyst for change. Sophia reflects on Cassandra, on the slap, on the lies, but refuses to let them define her. She gently touches the silver bracelet on her wrist, a gift from Elena, feeling a rare sense of peace. She fights not only for her sister, but for all women who have endured pain like Elena's. In her heart she vows this pain will not be in vain. The Harper family, though deeply scarred, finds hope in love. Elena, with Lily in her arms, draws strength from motherhood and sisterhood. Sophia, despite her demanding empire, always makes time for her sister, a reminder that they'll conquer any storm together. Nathan, though his path to redemption stretches long, takes slow, steady steps, driven by fragile sincerity. Elena looks at her daughter, her eyes gleaming like a small flame, and, for the first time in ages, she smiles. That smile, frail but genuine, is like dawn after a long night. The wounds still ache, but she knows, with Sophia by her side and Lily in her heart, she will find her light again, bit by bit.